of the day on storm preparations. We've been in close contact under the leadership of MEMA with all of the state agencies, with the National Weather Service, with federal agencies, the utility companies as well. I want to give you the following updates. Snow is falling over most of the Commonwealth right now. The heaviest is expected to start at about 2 o'clock, continuing through tomorrow. Forecasts are for as much as 3 feet of snow in different parts of the Commonwealth. During those heavy bands of snow, we expect up to 2 to 3 inches of accumulation per hour, making for extremely dangerous conditions. The rate of snowfall and reduced visibility during the evening rush hour in particular will make safe travel nearly impossible. I have declared a state of emergency effective at noon today. This will allow us to implement emergency measures to ensure the safety of our residents and take appropriate steps to mobilize state assets. There are 1,000 National Guard members on duty now. We expect to build that up to nearly 5,000 over the course of the weekend. The T, as I announced yesterday, will cease operations at 3:30 today. You know that yesterday I had asked that people stay off the road starting at noon today. I have now signed an executive order banning vehicle traffic effective at 4 o'clock today. There are a number of exemptions for that, for emergency workers and the like. Undersecretary Schwartz can explain some of those in just a minute. But I'm going to turn it over for travel issues to Secretary Davey, if he can. Where are you? There you are.
Thank you, Governor. Obviously, we've been out pre-treating the roads. We have 1,600 pieces of equipment out right now. We will get up to over 4,000 in the teeth of the storm. As well, in advance of the travel ban, as the Governor mentioned, at 4 o'clock, we will be not collecting any tolls on any of our roads starting at 2 o'clock to let our toll collectors get home safely. As the Governor said, the MBTA will be shut down. Last train from Boston at 3:30. If you are taking any of the regional transit authorities, please check their websites because they have adjusted their services as well.
Great. Thank you. We've also continued to review utility preparation plans, and I'm going to ask Secretary Sullivan to speak to that.
As we had indicated yesterday, the utilities, some 72 hours ago, filed their emergency plans and their action plans. They are now beginning to execute on those plans. We are in constant communication with utilities, and all of the utilities have a representative here at the bunker at MEMA, and will be reporting on a regular basis. The utilities all brought in crews from the outside, so that as we speak, there are over 2,000 crews in total for all the utilities that are here in Massachusetts and being pre-positioned, most of which have already been pre-positioned prior to this news conference they started this morning at 6 a.m. So they have those plans, and they are beginning to execute them, and as we've said before, they will be evaluated on the execution of those plans.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. So I think by all accounts, certainly from my briefings and your own weather reports, this is going to be a very serious weather event. If we get the amount of snow forecast, the recovery will be slow. People should prepare for that. Some of the cautions or precautions that I advised yesterday, I will just repeat. Monitor the progress of the storm. Mother Nature is unpredictable, and forecasts change and can change quickly, including deteriorating quickly. So please keep up with weather reports and also advice from officials about how to keep yourself safe. Let me thank the members of the media again for helping us to get this information out. Listen to directions from public officials. If you are in a coastal area, for example, and you are advised or instructed to evacuate, do so, and do so quickly, because water will rise or can rise quite quickly. Make sure you have basic food supplies and medications at home, and prepare for the possibility of being shut in and at home for the next 24 or 48 hours. Get a full tank of gas. Gas stations may also be affected in the event of power outages. Prepare for those power outages personally by having an emergency kit with flashlights, extra batteries, a portable radio, bottled water, non-perishable food, a first aid kit, for example. Check the batteries in your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. If you're using an emergency generator, it's enormously important that you remember to vent that generator outside and operate it outdoors away from any open window. The work to restore power outages that we're expecting will not begin until the storm ends, which is expected to be sometime tomorrow, late tomorrow afternoon. If your water supply is affected by a power outage, meaning if you are on a well water pump system, fill your bathtub and extra or any spare containers with water now, again, as a precaution against power outages. Set refrigerators and freezers to the highest temperature. That is a way to preserve food for a period of time in the event of a power outage. And again, be a good neighbor. Check on shut-ins, elders who live near you or in your family to make sure that they have what they need. Now, we will, I'm sure, be in touch either in this way or over the phone in the course of the storm and as the recovery begins. But we expect that the storm will end sometime tomorrow, late tomorrow afternoon, and that the sun may even come out. There will be a great temptation at that time to run out and view the aftermath and to play in the snow and so forth, and I totally understand that, but please, please exercise caution and use common sense. We expect, on account of the wind and the amount of snow, for the drifts to be as high as 5 feet. There will be obstacles that will be unknowable and unseen underneath the snow. Secondary roads, let alone major roads, are going to take some while to clear. Downed wires should be treated as live. There are hazards under this winter wonderland, and we just want everybody to exercise extreme caution even once the storm ends. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Governor Patrick, can you clarify this travel ban at
Sure.
4 o'clock? Is that all roads, just main roads? What about your side roads in your neighborhood?
Where are you? Kurt, you want to speak to that?
Good afternoon. The travel ban applies statewide and bans all motor vehicle traffic starting at 4 o'clock until the ban is lifted. There are exceptions built into the ban that will allow all critical public and private sector services to take place. So the ban expressly allows public safety workers on the government side and public health workers, public works vehicles, vehicles associated with all critical government functions. It allows utility workers. It allows the media to be on the roads. On the private side, it takes into account the need to provide and maintain critical private sector services, services connected to fuel delivery, commodities delivery, utilities, hospitals, and health care. All takes into account. So, and it also takes into account the very real need, as soon as it's safe, for businesses that provide critical services to be able to open. So it expressly allows transportation related to convenience stores, grocery stores, hardware stores, businesses that are providing critical services that we need when safe to open to serve their communities. So it is an outright ban on all roads, but with exceptions that should allow all of the necessary functions to take place.
What's the penalty for violating it?
The penalty under the Civil Defense Act, this is for most executive orders issued during a state of emergency, is a penalty up to 1 year imprisonment and a fine. That's not a mandatory penalty, up to. I don't recall the fine. $500.
So let me just add to this. And John, I know that's not the import of your question, but let me just say that the point is not to figure out how to come down hard on people. It's to emphasize how critical it is that non-essential travel on the roads cease during this storm and in the immediate aftermath. We are trying to be and will be flexible. We can make the text of the executive order available to you so that you can see the number of exemptions that are built in. But the point is, we have to have as many people off the roads as possible if they do not have a role in trying to keep people safe or help us recover as quickly as possible. I'm sorry.
Have you ever had to sign one of these orders with travel before?
No. In the state? Do you know, Kurt?
You've been listening to a news conference with Governor Patrick and some officials in his administration. The governor declared a state of emergency at noon. 5,000 National Guard troops will be deployed throughout the weekend to help out with the storm and the storm recovery. The biggest information involved here is the statewide travel ban that begins at 4 o'clock with exceptions, but for most people it means you need to be off the roads starting at 4 o'clock.